Sonic X Shadow Generations is getting closer to release, and we've learned so much about the game. However, there's one question that I've had from the start regarding the story of the game, and in this video, I will attempt to answer that question. And that question is, how does Shadow Generations connect to Sonic Generations? Now, you might be thinking, don't we already know that Shadow Generations takes place at the same time as Sonic Generations? And to answer your question, yes, this has been confirmed by Takashi Iizuka on multiple occasions. However, I don't think the answer is as cut and dry as that. And me and a couple of my friends discussed this on our podcast, Starfall Radio, which the first episode drops later tonight, so go check that out. But basically, we concluded that there's much more going on with the whole time travel aspect of both of these games than you may have initially thought. First up, I want to talk about this animation made by Terminal Montage that was made to promote Sonic X Shadow Generations. Yes, if you didn't know, this is actually an official animation that was made as a collab between Terminal Montage and Sega, which I think is really cool, by the way. But anyway, throughout this animation, we see sort of a recap of all of Shadow's appearances in past Sonic games through funny animation, and it's great. But something that I found interesting is at the end of the animation, Shadow gets taken by the Time Eater seemingly after all of those events have happened. Team Sonic Racing, Forces, the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, etc. Now, I know this could mean nothing, as even though this is an official animation, that doesn't mean that anything presented in it is canon. However, this specific detail got me thinking, what if the Shadow scene in Shadow Generations is not the same as the one seen in Sonic Generations? In other words, what if these two Shadows are from different times? That would actually explain a ton. Think about it. Why do we see stages like Chaos Island and Sunset Heights? It's because time travel doesn't have to just go to the past, it can also go to the future. And the Time Eater in Generations didn't just take Sonic and his friends from the present timeline, it also went back to the past to grab classic Sonic. So what if, like he grabbed two different Sonics, he also grabbed two different Shadows? He could have grabbed a Shadow from the future and put him in his own white space, which he has to try and escape. This would also explain why Shadow is so, well, unimportant in the base Generations. In that game, he's a boss fight, sure, but other than that, he just stands around and watches from the sidelines. Are we really expected to believe that Shadow went on this crazy adventure off screen and just came back to watch Sonic defeat the Time Eater? No, I don't think so. I think that Shadow was minding his own business after Team Sonic Racing like the animation shows, but then the Time Eater grabbed him from the past and threw him in the white space, which would then have put him during the time of Sonic Generations. I know this is very confusing, and to be fair, most time travel plots are, but I think this is the most plausible explanation for why these events are even taking place. And I feel like the fact that Sunset Heights and Chaos Island are in the game only adds fuel to this theory, because it just shows that the Shadow we're playing as has been to these locations before, which wouldn't make sense for the Shadow seen in base gens, as the events of Forces and Frontiers haven't happened yet. And I know you might be saying, oh wait, when did Shadow visit Chaos Island? And I know it's very cliche to bring in the whole, oh, it just happened off screen argument, but I think that would actually be cool, and it's actually sort of hinted at in the game. In a gameplay clip of Chaos Island, we can see the volcano erupting in the background. Those who have played Sonic Frontiers would probably know that the volcano erupts when Sonic completes the pinball machine. So what if while Sonic was completing the pinball machine, Shadow was outside doing his time travel thing? That would actually be pretty awesome. And I think it would be even more awesome if, in maybe Act 2, we can see Super Sonic fighting Knight in the background of the level, but I don't think they would go that far. There's also another theory that Mr. Needlemouse talked about in his video, which could explain why Shadow is on Chaos Island. I'm not sure if he's dropped it yet, but it's very interesting, so keep an eye out for that one. But this would also explain why we haven't seen a single clip of gameplay from Sunset Heights on the outside, just underground in the sewers. If Shadow is time traveling from the future, he wouldn't want to reveal himself to everyone. He would want to stay undercover. And finally, if this Shadow we're playing as in Shadow Generations is in fact a Shadow from a different time than the one seen in the base Sonic Generations, then we could also have a completely different final boss fight. Because remember, Shadow doesn't do shit in the base game against the Time Eater. Shadow could grab the Chaos Emeralds from a different time and fight the weird Black Doom parasite thing that was seen in the key art. And I think that would be an awesome way to end the game. So in short, I believe that the Shadow we play as in Shadow Generations is a Shadow from a different time compared to the one seen in base Sonic Generations. Just like how there are two different Sonics, there are also two different Shadows at play here. Now, we'll just have to wait wait and see if this is true or not, but I'm actually pretty confident that we may have something here. The only other thing that could throw a wrench in this theory is that Iizuka has also confirmed that there will be crossover moments between Shadow Generations and Sonic Generations, so we'll just have to wait and see what that whole thing is about. But again, I just don't see these two shadows being the same, but I'm just repeating myself at this point. Anyway, before ending the video, I want to plug the SF Citadel Discord server, where I'm currently hosting a giveaway for Sonic X Shadow Generations, so join that if you're interested. And also check out the podcast. The first episode drops tonight, and in this episode, we talk about this theory, among many other theories regarding Shadow Generations and Sonic Movie 3. But that's all for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.